What's up, people? So this video is gonna be a little bit different. Instead of race cars, like I'm sitting in one. Well, we live in the upper Midwest and it gets cold up here, so we want to work in the shop in the winter, but we got to find a way to heat this place, and that's what this is going to be about. We've been working on an oil burner. It's all home built, homemade. We've been watching a lot of YouTube on guys making them and stuff, so we decided, why not make one? We got all these vehicles that we do oil changes on, race cars that take a lot of oil, and it's just been sitting around here, so let's burn it up. Let's use it and create heat so we can be out here in 0 degree or whatever weather. So that's what this video is going to be about. Before I say anything or show you anything, disclaimer, I'm not a welder. It works. That's all I got to say. So this is what we got for an oil burner. It's a tank that came out of a garbage and some hoses. There's some pipe that runs angled, or it's bent, I should say. They bend down, so then the cold air will actually feed up. You get it running hot enough, you can feel that it just drafts out. And then we have some weird pot we kind of made with a pipe running through the side here, and that's just me putting cardboard all in it and around it, and I'll put some gas in it to get some heat started. And there's a mesh floor in the bottom right now to keep it off the ground a little bit, to try and get some air, because this thing, we're feeding it with this, I don't know, some fan that we got this valve on for our airflow. But this tank had a hole in the bottom, so that hole can feed air through underneath that screen if we ever run wood in it and whatnot, and just ventilate it, which we have run wood and stuff, which works nice. But it's just a hose with this T and a hole in the side so you can see how much oil you're putting through. It's just mounted in the top here with motor oil, and then it's an old race car door panel that's protecting the window and the wall from heat, and then some pipe, and that goes out the side, which it doesn't work very well because wind from the north just builds kind of some pressure there, because the top of the shop, I mean, is way up there, so it doesn't really work too well if there's wind from the north. Well, it doesn't work at all. We didn't work in the shop too much yesterday because the wind was from the north, and just tack weld there, but it doesn't leak. And then there's a tin can with a hose clamp is all that is, as a coupler or a band clamp. And then Dad recently did this kind of fancy thing, and so that's nice for ventilation and whatnot. But we're having a little bit of a hard time trying to get it to start and get going at like an optimal temp. I later add a plate to the top of the pot to keep the heat more in that pot and hopefully burn hotter and better. So it just like popped like twice. It's weird. I don't know. It shot a bunch of flames the second time. It popped so much smoke came rolling out of the vent. Still not. That's better than what it was. Sending a little smoke, so we're not getting clean burn. It's not bad though. There's some sort of, we had big pipe, and then we actually just reamed it and then clamped it down, cut it, so we made a smaller pipe so it's insulated that way, and welded it all together. I'm glad you can't really see my welds. So now it's going. Dad's thought, we're using used motor oil from our cars that we've accumulated over the years in race cars, and he was thinking maybe some antifreeze got in there, didn't want to burn, You know, this has probably been one of the worst tries of trying to get it to burn or get it going. Or maybe it's just because I'm running it this time. But as you saw, you just shot a whole bunch of gas in there, and now it's starting to get going. You can hear it now. Yeah, now it reacts right away. Get a little smoke coming out of the vent here. We also think that our 3-inch pipe there is maybe a little too small. It doesn't, we choke the chimney out, I guess you could say. He's really feeding it, getting it going. But one thing I've been known to do is give it, woo, see, it just popped. There, again and again, woohoo. But one thing I've known to do is give it too much oil, and we didn't actually seal the bottom, so it's like a bottom plate, and then we have that mesh above it. But I give it too much oil and it starts dripping out, and that's kind of a decent puddle. Put some cardboard, soak that up, it'll be okay. Just hope that doesn't catch fire. So now we got a flame going. Yeah, it'll do this puff, puff. See? Puff, puff. Is that because our chimney is too small? I don't know. I'm not an engineer yet. Now it's back down the kind of low. What's the deal? Got air cut back. It still flows a decent amount. To like a fast drip now, because I mean the oil is dripping down, going through into that pot there, and then the pot isn't completely sealed either, because I mean the one piece is welded together, and I welded it, so you know, and then it drips and it doesn't burn on the floor and drips out. So I've been fooling with it for a little bit here. I turned it up. It was just a drip. Now it's like just off of a drip. And I just changed that once. And then I've been messing with the throttle here, trying to give it more air, less air, or whatever. Seems like it's going okay now. If I go any more than that air, then it'll actually start trying to throw smoke out of the vent there and even down there. But there still is smoke coming out. It's not really black at all. It is a little bit. Looks worse in the video than in person, but still not super clean. But so I'd said the pipes come like that. Well, we never really developed any manifolds and anything to push air through so we can get air. So that's what blocked all that off. And just put a fan so it builds some pressure and directs the wind and air. Works okay. Good enough for as easy and dumb as it is, I guess. So this whole time it actually died on me, and so Dad dumped probably half of this of E85 in there, and now we got it going again, and now it's almost like it's dying again. He's been feeding it, but when I was messing with it, I didn't think I messed with it enough to kill it, but I did dump more oil in it, and actually thinking that maybe it's fairly clear. Not really anymore, but maybe there is water and antifreeze mixed in with it from whatever. That's what you get from using oil from oil changes, I guess.
Yeah, it's like good entertainment.
And just started doing this like sizzling, crackling. Is that the water boiling in it? cooking steak or what?
Fire going in there now. All that oil in the outer cup.
It's hottest it's been so far.
Put a handle on that door. Lots of oil down in there, so it just got too cold.
Still boiling. So it's a part of that pipe. It's welded onto a flat piece, and then we just made it look like a flower, really. And then we put an oil filter in it, which that metal doesn't last very long. That's the part of it. We actually ended up putting the pot back in, hooking the air up to it, and putting some gas in it to try and burn all that extra oil that was still laying in there out before taking it apart.
Guess it was still somewhat solid.
It cleaned out and everything, but like I said, my welding's not that great, and so we maybe we'll weld that shut and then just use this and not use any oil filter or can or anything. And so then this doesn't leak and leak all over the floor and all that, and we can keep the oil in there so it can burn. Maybe the plan, I don't know, we'll see. So tried welding on it, and there's a bunch of crap in it that was smoking real bad. So if you didn't know, if you put E85 in a pot and just light it, it'll burn slowly. So that's what we're trying to do, is burn all that crap out. So I got it welded back up so it wasn't leaking. Hopefully it's not leaking anymore. And got it going again. Now it's going better than it has. We had that oil filter, or what was left of an oil filter in it, and now it's no longer in it. So it's just a can with that weird looking can with the plate on top of it. Now we got this thing rolling. It's pretty stinking hot. My face is pretty warm. Still not as clean as a burn as I would like to see, honestly, but I mean, hey. Yeah, what, I was getting like 150 earlier with that, so that's cool. Feels real nice. There's a little bit of black, like I said, but whatever. Thanks for watching. maybe you'll build one of these someday. I don't know. It's not that difficult, but to make it work real nice, it takes a little bit of work to it. But stay tuned for improvements and other projects we got going on around here.